I'm already going back on something I vowed.
Uh-oh.
Yesterday I said we should stop talking about these trans controversies because there's not much we can do about it. But it's interesting to note that the Champlin Park pitcher, Marissa Rothenberger, pitched 2 games yesterday, won both of them, and her club is going to be in the state finals of Class 4A, the tournament championship tomorrow, 9 a.m. against Bloomington Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I noted yesterday that, well, here, let me provide maybe a ray of hope. It's been very interesting for me the last 3 days to observe women in my inner circle of life, all of whom have daughters. Mm-hmm. 3 of those daughters who play. One plays high school softball. 2 are still in grade school and playing grade school softball. And I haven't been speaking much. I've just listened.
Okay.
And it's been very interesting to me to realize how little they understand the mystery, how little they've paid attention. They clearly have not attended any classes at the University of Garage Logic. What we have here with this pitcher for Champlin Park, particularly as it strikes the mothers of female softball players, is what we call the rubber hitting the road. You are seeing, ladies, you are seeing an example of what happens when the American public, through apathy, has let the political class be turned over to activists. You haven't been paying attention. You've all had good lives. You've all been educated. And I'm saying none of this with anger or indictment.
Right.
I'm just saying you've had great lives. In fact, all 3 of the women I'm thinking about were educated pre-failed academy, in my estimation. They're raising wonderful, smart kids. But when it comes to the mystery, you don't have a clue as to what's happening. You don't have a clue that Minnesota has become culturally and politically destroyed. You all dutifully recoil in horror at anything Trump says or does, and that's an understandable conclusion for many people to reach about Trump. But you don't feel those same feelings about Walz, Keith Ellison, the 2 mayors in the Twin Cities, the legislature, the courts. Yes?
Why? I don't understand why.
Because they have had it. We're a spoiled American populace. We haven't paid attention. They have jobs. They have enough money to buy their groceries and have a car and a roof over their heads, and everything seems fine.
Is it the simple philosophy of good times create weak men? That old saying?
Well, I don't know, but I'm trying to stay within my lane here. So now comes along what outrages you, this tall transgender female pitching for Champlin Park, and you realize, well, that's unfair. Where's Title IX? How can this be? Mm-hmm. Why don't the parents do something? I think there should be a protest. What's happening? Yes, hello, you're just waking up to what's happened to the state. The President of the United States has ordered that this should not happen, and you have an attorney general and a president, attorney general, a governor, and a legislature who's defying the national order and will continue to. Walz has doubled down on his defending of trans children and trans athletes. Yes, Kenny?
I can, and I was stunned to learn this, and maybe it was yesterday or the day before, because this Title IX thing has really got me confused. Why with Title IX are we allowing this? The trans community, if you will, are embracing Title IX and saying that they are a part of it, and Title IX represents them. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing a lot of that on the left side of the aisle, which was a learning moment for me, that's for sure.
Here's Wall's quote from a DFL gathering in California over last weekend. I'm just going to say it. Shame on any of us who throws a trans child under the bus for thinking they're going to get elected. That child deserves our support. Don't worry about the pollsters calling it distractions because we need to be the party of human dignity. All right. And I hope people from Euphoria who are listening in Liberal Lakes and Diversityville understand I'm not attempting to denigrate a trans child. What I'm saying is that activists run politics now. Activists don't care that your sidewalk is buckled or your street light just got ripped off of 40 pounds of copper and your street is dark. That's not why they're there. They're there to completely reinvent the country you completely continue to believe you're living in while it's falling apart under your feet because you've paid zero attention. Zero attention.
Yeah.
The Egan parents, corroborate this for me, Rook, because you have a relative there. The Egan parents and players were informed before losing to Champlin Park yesterday. Mom's the word. You're not going to say anything. Don't make this political. Don't bring it up.
They were told not to talk about it and were never asked how we felt or how the girls felt. It was the big elephant in the room.
It has become the Mysterian orthodoxy that trans females are female. But
they're not. Exactly.
Trans females are female.
Paraphrasing you just said something moments ago that the country is falling apart because you, referring to the left, paid zero attention. So
no, I didn't mean the left. Meaning the average St. Paulite or Minneapolitan, the average Minnesotan, left or right. They haven't been paying attention.
All right, you cleared it up. Thank you.
And now you wake up to this, and suddenly you're saying to yourself, I even had one woman who has analyzed the physique of this young...
tall and skinny.
Well, she doesn't have hips. That's an advantage in softball, was her take on that.
Well, I was at a...
well, hello, where have you been, young lady?
I was at an event last night, and some guys were talking about that. And the fact that she's taller and has a bigger hands give her a distinct advantage in throwing that ball.
And a wider wingspan.
Right.
Okay, we get all that, but I'm also understanding that Egan got hits off her.
7 hits, I believe.
Well, what the hell? They could have won the game, maybe.
Run the bases better.
I think wasn't her second game? Didn't they win 3-2?
Yes.
Yeah.
With a walk-off
2
single in the
runs.
bottom of the 7th inning. Yep. Because I believe White Bear Lake, and I was trying to confirm
the White
it.
Bear game?
Yes, and I'm trying to confirm it, but I believe White Bear Lake sent out something similar to the one that Rook's relatives got in Egan.
See, we're all supposed to bow down now to the orthodoxy
yes.
created by the people you've elected because you haven't paying attention to who you elected. You haven't paid attention into finding proper candidates. You haven't done anything. The reason Marissa Rothenberger is pitching for Champlin Park is because of political and cultural activism. There's no other explanation.
And that is why Trump got elected.
Probably. That's one of the reasons. But he's hung up on gold. He doesn't know about
He's going to find
figure.
that gold.
Well, he's weighed in on this, and specifically Minnesota.
Yeah, he had comments about Governor Walz yesterday.
Minnesota is completely defiant of any idea that Minnesota would take any steps to prevent a trans athlete from playing in women's sports. Minnesota will not do that.
What's interesting and frustrating to me is that they act like they're speaking for the lot of us, or
Right.
for all of Minnesota.
And now I'll take it even further. You can poke holes in it. I'm sure it's pokeable. Where does the ideology come from? Where has the activism come from that insists a male can become a female and vice versa? I have the answer.
Please tell me.
Well, I have my answer.
Okay.
My
All right.
answer is, again, the ideology at the burning center of the mystery is that we don't like America. Its creation was flawed. The founders were males. They were white. Everything they created is an affectation that we challenge. Laws are being challenged. Rules are being challenged. everything is being challenged because they're laying it at the feet of white powdered wig fellows in a hotel room in Philadelphia, and they scoff at that. They mock that. It wasn't fair enough. It didn't take into account that we want to live this way and we want to live that way. And we are here to deconstruct the United States, and along with it, we'll take down the Constitution if we have to. And now we're in a real weird space because Trump has come along, and he's the opposite of that, but he's doing his own damage to the Constitution. So we are in a real between a rock and a hard place here. Between a rock and a hard place. But it's the left that has brought you Marissa Gold. What's her name? Rothenberger. Mm-hmm. I almost said Goldfinger. Yeah.
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can get it.
It's the leftist ideologies that have brought you Marissa Gold Farber. What
You
the
almost
hell?
said it again.
I almost did.
She's Joe.
Farber?
She has a brother named Oric.
It's pretty difficult to hit a home run in softball. Marissa was up first in the bottom of the seventh, hit a double that hit the top of the fence and almost went over for a home run. She was the winning run.
Okay, Scott out in Montana has an idea.
Oh,
If you're going to play a team with a dominant trans athlete on it, shouldn't you be allowed to have one male on your team?
Yeah, I suggested that yesterday. Just grab some dude off the high school baseball team.
But now Reavers will weigh in to further confuse matters.
Yes. I agree with you and Scott completely, and Kenny completely in theory. The problem is, as I mentioned, a bunch of us in high school tried to hit fast pitch and we failed miserably. It's the arm angle, it's the swing, it's completely
It's not as
different.
easy as it looks.
Oh God, no! And plus,
Yeah.
they're throwing it from a much closer distance.
I would probably cry. Seriously, I'd just probably start crying.
So you mean to tell me?
check this
I'm
out.
not saying it can't be done.
Okay,
Yeah.
but there's got to be some good high school male baseball players who could hit a softball.
In fact, I was talking to somebody over this past weekend that I think it's only club now, but boys fast pitch might become a thing in varsity sports.
Now, the reason I think this is plausible is because the ideology forced upon us by the left is saying, well, what difference does it make? We're all the same. Okay, Bloomington Jefferson, show up tomorrow with a 6'5" junior from your baseball team and let him play first base and bat cleanup.
Right.
End of story. We're all the same.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Aren't we all the same?
No, we're not.
Have we faced this in this state with basketball yet? High school basketball?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't believe so.
Reavers, did you have any gals playing boys sports when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, no, but someone in my family was on a wrestling team in which they had to face a female wrestler in high school.
But did so willingly, correct?
Right,
yeah.
right. I've always been aware of gals like maybe on the high school baseball team or
Hockey
the kicker, the kicker on the football, et cetera, et cetera. But I've never we're in a new era.
Well, I think it started with what was the movie? Sinbad. Kathy Ireland was the kicker. Necessary
Come on now.
Roughness.
Yes.
Well,
It's break time.
Don't do that.
What about the donkey? Oits.
You know.
Gus. Disney movie. Gus was a donkey.
you were
Was
doing
a kicker.
Joe, you were doing so good.
I
buddy.
was. I had a good thing.
You really had a good
Ready,
grasp